mentality, you will still do the same thing. And if you still don't step into knowing who you are fully,
I think
you're
this
gonna
might be
continue to make the
couch
same
thing right now.
mistakes over and over again.
So I agree to some degree, but I also will add that it could be your environment too, because I am a product of my primary parent being a male. So no, I'm not doing it unless I want to do it. And usually, if I want to do it, it's because I'm into you, I'm interested, and before you even get to not want to call me back, I'll know that part before we even get to it. So I
But okay, so let me ask you this: if you know that, how do you know that? Like, what is it for you that says I know that I can be intimate with this person, and I know that they're genuine. I know that I'm not getting their representative, and like they are exactly who they say they are. Like, at what point can you say, okay, this is real?
Possibly I've met their friends, possibly I've met their family member or something like that, and that will let me know that you have a little more interest than just trying to get some. I don't think that a person that's just trying to get some they're not gonna take you around or invite you. Right.
Okay.
So usually it's something like that, or we'll have these intimate conversations that I could pretty much say, he's probably never told anybody that.
But they probably have.
There is a possibility, but I think as women, we have an intuition, something that will let us know that it's okay. But red flags are red flags.
Exactly.
Especially
and you have to pay attention to those red flags.
But do you think that that's something that, like when you say that we have that intuition, because I think we do, and I think we all have it. But I also believe that when you're hungry, you'll eat whatever somebody gives.
No, and I agree with
you understand what I'm saying? So sometimes we ignore that intuition because they got that shit we like.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's not a thing too. But what I'm also saying is that you do have some of us that have had their fun, but then it's like, now I know X, Y, and Z, and wisdom. If we love ourselves enough to know ourselves enough.
That's the key.
So some people don't know themselves.
And some people go through stuff and then they don't move like they've been through something. And they keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Exactly. So that scenario you just gave is enough for a person who would need to really dig deep to see why that is happening, why that keeps on happening. So I think for some of us who have done the work to know, what our deep roots are.
That's the key right there, what you just said that.
Because
the work.
If we don't do the work, or some of us aren't woke enough.
Come on now. Girl, I'm finna give you a damn offering. No. But what you said was so important. And I wanna stay here with you for just a minute. You said the work.
Yeah.
Can you please? Because I think
you might need to take this to the other office.
I think that sometimes as women, I don't think that we realize what the work looks like. So I want to start out with you, and then I want to go to you. I want to stay there because I think a lot of times we say stuff like, "Oh, well, it's maturity," and "Oh, it's experience." No, it's work.
It is.
Can you just say for me what does the work look like?
Well, for me, the work looks like spiritual growth.
Come on,
I am a faith-based person, so I know that even though my foundation from a kid has been God and and going to church and just reading the Word, I used to go to Bible study, all of that stuff. So I know that is in me, and so for the things that I have experienced, I've had to go back to that, if I even left it before, but going back to that and just developing that personal relationship with God, and so certain things that God will drop in your spirit to let you know that, okay, you should have watched your mouth today.
Because there's always a warning before destruction.
Yes, and so even to go back to the earlier point with how would I know? God will drop it in my spirit, maybe not, because depending on what you're done with it.
Depends.
No. It's maybe not. No. Wait a minute. Let me say this. It's no maybe not, because God and His love for us, He always.
Yeah.
It's not a time that He doesn't. He does. It's just us.
But what I'm saying is from the perspective of
exactly.
The devil is always.
Oh yeah. And it's not enough.
Do good.
Oh yeah. So it's going to if we want to be, but it's going to be there. It's if we want to. We want to see.
They gonna yawn.
And I also feel like you have to be in a certain place spiritually in order to hear the word of God. Because you can't just be out here doing what you want to do and thinking that God's going to sizzle it in your spirit. It don't work like that. Because He's not the author of confusion. So you have to have a heart posture to be able to hear from Him, so that when the discernment comes, you can be like,
be receptive.
Maybe not. If we are doing the work, is that was your original question?
Right.
The work is reading that word so that word can get planted in you. So when you are doing something that you're not supposed to do, or just whatever, God wants to say, go this way, not that way. And it could be for a blessing too. It doesn't always have to be something negative or bad that you're doing. But, even for God to grow you, bless you, all of that. You have to be. You have to be, So that's what I believe.
Feed the most will grow.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the truth.
Okay. So what would you say the work looks like? Like what does the work look like?
What they say?
So what does the work? Let me stop. So what does the work look like for me? And just feeding off of what you said, like I'm the opposite. I didn't grow up in the church, right? So I grew up in, when you said the environment, being conducive to my environment, right? So my environment wasn't nurturing to my self-worth and my self-value, right? So it was something that I had to learn through mistake, through trial and error, through fucked up relationships, through being abused mentally, emotionally, financially, physically, whatever, right? And so what the work looks like for me is, of course, the first part, like she said, is spiritual connection. Because in order to find out anything about yourself, you got to be connected to the person who created you, right? To know who you are, what you're supposed to do, what your worth and value is. So once you get into that, to know what you're supposed to have, who you're supposed to be, and what you're supposed to be acceptable to, that was the first thing. Then the other part is you got to look at yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's one of the things we don't want to do, and that's part of the work. So being accepted, exactly. So being accepted to the fact, I'm not going to talk about the nigga and what he did. I'm going to talk about what I allowed him to do.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was me.
Come on now.
It was me. It wasn't him. Because if I knew who I was, he wouldn't have even had the opportunity to do what he did.
Or get close to you.
Or get close to me, right?
Yeah,
so again, that goes back to my environment. Growing up without a father, growing up, and that's not no excuse. It is an excuse, but at some point you have to take. It is a reality, because that creates you and it forms who you are, right? But at some point, it's too much out here for you to keep doing the same things and not learn new behaviors and unlearn old patterns, right? Yeah. So it was accountability for me to learn and unlearn the things that got me in the fucked up situations that I didn't want to be in. And it's an ever-growing process, right? I'm not all the way there. Evolving is constantly, ing is all the way until you die. It's never going to stop. So it's not evolved, it's not growed or grew, it's growing, it's evolving, right? Because you're going to always at every level elevate and have to learn something different and unlearn something from the old, right? So for me, the first part was being in the first, because again, we can't say we got it if we keep doing it over and over again, right? So my first situation was with my first two children's father. Thought I got it, repeated it with my husband. Was with him for 20 years, and then after that, it was like, okay, some shit gotta change. Because if you keep what they say is insanity, they keep doing the same. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, acting like exactly. So I kept expecting things to be different, but the person that needed to be different was me. still growing, still learning, still got to check that old self because the old self always want to come back. So even still now, when I meet men now, it's like a constant reminder of, nah, don't you go there no more because you've surpassed that. You're not going to settle for that. You know what I'm saying? At some point in time in life, especially, I think you said it earlier, like how people settle for, how women, we're known for infamously settling for the crumbs. And that's a lot of times because you don't know that you're worthy of the feast, right? You're worthy of the feast, so you settle for the little teeny bit, not knowing that God says you're supposed to have the whole feast. Not the little, the little half a meal, but the whole thing. So when you get one, connected to him, and two, begin to learn who you are, and I ain't trying to sound super spiritual or nothing because I'm not, but I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a woman of God, I'm a God-fearing woman, but I'm still a human and I'm still real. So I, still balance the two. But at the end of the day, it's about being connected to my spirituality, to my Father, who constantly reminds me, like you said, gives me the unction all the time to know who I am. He shows me, like you said, that discernment, because I believe he gives us the bells, the alarms, and the bells, whistles, and alarms. That's what I call them. Those are red flags. He show you small, subtle things. We keep on forging ahead. Then it gets bigger and bigger and grander and grander every time. Until you can't take no more. But I believe he shows us. And then again, knowing what he's showing us is about being connected to him. So that's the first primary thing. And then second, just being accountable, like for what I accept and what I allow. And now knowing who I am, I don't settle for shit no more. I don't have to. And you can call it cocky, confidence, overconfident, whatever, regardless of whatever. It's just that you rise up. We don't have to set shit in pencil and erase it because we feel like a nigga don't. Men are automatic. They're territorial, and then they are what are they? Predators. They go after what they want. They are hunters. So if they want you, they're gonna come after you.
That part.
And what we don't do, we gotta remember to apologize to ourselves.
Exactly.
That's what a lot of us don't do.
And forgive yourself.
We don't apologize to ourselves for allowing other people and ourselves to go through the things that we go through, and that's something I had to learn. You have to apologize to yourself. That also helps you to understand and I'm really learning my worth of who I am and what I'm accepting, what I'm not going to accept. But you have to. And a lot of us don't do that.
We don't.
Because I was one that didn't do it. You just keep going from fear. You don't forgive yourself, no.
But it's okay though. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not perfect. And we all still make mistakes. And we're still going to make mistakes. That's why I say it's like an ever-changing and an ever-ongoing process. You might slip up sometimes. We all gonna fuck up sometimes. But then we still have to grab ourselves up and be like, you know what? I messed up, but let me dust myself off. Don't stay there. That's the thing. We can't stay in that position.
That's the part.
Where
Don't
we
stay
fall.
there.
Right. We got to still get up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because we still going to mess up. Every day we going to mess up. The mind is always wandering
Y'all
to
some
the
old
wrong
asses
old
over
place.
there. Y'all some old asses.
Who?
I'm just saying.
We young. Don't be doing that.